The Trump administration dropped a bombshell on the global economy with the announcement of a 25% tariff on all Mexican imports. This decision has been met with widespread concern and criticism from various sectors, including businesses, economists, and international trade experts. This aggressive move sent shockwaves through international markets, raising fears of a full-blown trade war between the United States and its southern neighbor. The potential for retaliatory measures from Mexico has only added to the uncertainty, with many fearing a domino effect that could impact global trade. The tariffs, set to be phased in gradually, are scheduled to take effect on June 10th. Businesses on both sides of the border are scrambling to understand the full implications and prepare for the changes, with some already considering relocating their supply chains to mitigate the impact. Economists warn that these tariffs could have severe consequences for both economies, disrupting closely intertwined supply chains and driving up prices for consumers. The automotive industry, in particular, is expected to be hit hard, as many car parts are manufactured in Mexico and then assembled in the United States. This unexpected escalation of trade tensions comes as a surprise to many, as Mexico and the United States had seemingly reached a new trade deal just months prior. The sudden shift in policy has left many questioning the stability and reliability of trade agreements under the current administration. The United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, designed to replace the North American Free Trade Agreement, was hailed as a victory by the Trump administration. It was seen as a step towards modernizing trade relations and ensuring fairer terms for American workers and businesses. However, the recent tariff announcement has cast a shadow over the future of the agreement, raising questions about the Trump administration's commitment to free trade and its relationship with its closest trading partners. The move has also sparked debates about the effectiveness of tariffs as a tool for achieving broader economic and political goals. The immediate impact of the tariffs was felt in markets around the world. Investors reacted swiftly, with stock prices plummeting and market volatility increasing. The uncertainty surrounding the tariffs has made it difficult for businesses to plan for the future, further exacerbating the economic instability. The Mexican peso plunged to its lowest level in months against the US dollar, reflecting investors' concerns about the economic health of the Mexican economy. The devaluation of the peso is likely to have ripple effects, impacting everything from consumer prices to foreign investment in Mexico. US stock markets also tumbled on the news, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average experiencing its worst day of the year. The decline in stock prices has raised concerns about the broader impact on the US economy, including potential job losses and reduced consumer spending. The tariffs have injected a new element of uncertainty into the global economic outlook, threatening to dampen growth and undermine business confidence. Companies are now faced with difficult decisions about investment and expansion as the future of international trade remains unclear. The Trump administration's decision to impose tariffs on Mexican goods marks a significant escalation in trade tensions between the two countries. The move has been criticized by many as a short-sighted approach that could ultimately harm both economies. While the administration has cited concerns over illegal immigration and drug trafficking as justification for the tariffs, many experts believe that the true motivation lies in President Trump's desire to renegotiate trade deals in America's favor. The long-term impact of these tariffs remains to be seen, but it is clear that they have already created significant disruption and uncertainty in the global economy. The Trump administration has pointed to the issue of illegal drug trafficking, particularly fentanyl, as a key factor in its decision to impose tariffs on Mexico. This move has sparked a heated debate on both sides of the border. The U.S. argues that Mexico has not done enough to stem the flow of narcotics across its border, contributing to the opioid crisis ravaging communities across the United States. The opioid crisis has been a devastating public health emergency, with countless families affected by addiction and overdose. Fentanyl, a powerful synthetic opioid, has been responsible for tens of thousands of overdose deaths in the U.S. annually. Its potency and ease of production make it a preferred choice for drug traffickers, exacerbating the crisis. Critics argue that the tariffs are a blunt instrument that will do little to address the complex issue of drug trafficking. They believe that a more nuanced approach is needed, one that addresses both supply and demand. They point out that the vast majority of fentanyl enters the U.S. through legal ports of entry, often concealed in vehicles or cargo. This highlights the need for improved detection technologies and more rigorous inspections at these points. Targeting legal trade with Mexico is unlikely to significantly impact the flow of fentanyl, as criminal organizations will simply adapt their smuggling routes and methods. These organizations are highly adaptable and resourceful, constantly evolving to evade law enforcement. Furthermore, experts argue that the tariffs could actually hinder cooperation between the U.S. and Mexico on combating drug trafficking. Diplomatic relations are crucial for coordinated efforts and intelligence sharing. Mexico has been a key partner in U.S. efforts to disrupt drug cartels and seize illegal narcotics. Joint operations have led to significant drug seizures and arrests, showcasing the importance of collaboration. However, the imposition of tariffs could strain relations between the two countries, making it more difficult to effectively collaborate on this shared challenge. Strained relations could lead to reduced cooperation and less effective anti-drug operations. While the Trump administration has framed the tariffs as a necessary step to address the fentanyl crisis, critics argue that they are more likely to exacerbate existing tensions between the U.S. and Mexico. This could lead to a breakdown in communication and trust, potentially undermining efforts to combat drug trafficking and address the root causes of the opioid epidemic. A comprehensive strategy that includes prevention, treatment, and international cooperation is essential to effectively tackle this crisis. The announcement of U.S. tariffs on Mexican imports sent shockwaves through global financial markets, causing widespread concern among investors and analysts alike. Reflecting growing concerns about the potential for a protracted trade war between the two countries. This development has added a new layer of complexity to an already volatile economic landscape. Stock markets around the world reacted negatively, with major indices experiencing sharp declines. The ripple effects were felt across continents, from Asia to Europe and beyond. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, a key barometer of U.S. stock market performance, plunged over 400 points, marking one of its steepest drops in recent months. While the S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite also recorded substantial losses, these declines have wiped out significant gains made earlier in the year. Investors are particularly concerned about the impact of the tariffs on corporate profits and global economic growth. The uncertainty is causing many to reassess their investment strategies. The tariffs are likely to disrupt closely integrated supply chains that span the U.S.-Mexico border, affecting industries ranging from automotive to electronics, increasing costs for businesses and potentially leading to higher prices for consumers. This could have a cascading effect on consumer spending and overall economic activity. The uncertainty surrounding the trade dispute is also weighing on business confidence, making companies less likely to invest and hire. This hesitation could slow down economic growth even further, making companies less likely to invest and hire. The potential for job losses and reduced economic activity is a growing concern. The escalating trade tensions between the U.S. and Mexico have added to existing anxieties about slowing global economic growth. These tensions are exacerbating an already fragile economic environment. The International Monetary Fund recently downgraded its global growth forecast for 2019, citing trade tensions as a key risk factor. This downgrade has further fueled market anxieties. Citing trade tensions as a key risk factor, the IMF's warning underscores the potential for significant economic disruption. The IMF has warned that a full-blown trade war between the U.S. and China, combined with the new tariffs on Mexico, could have severe consequences for the global economy. The interconnected nature of global trade means that no country is immune, could have severe consequences for the global economy. The potential for a domino effect, where one economic issue leads to another, is a real threat. The reaction of financial markets to the U.S. tariffs on Mexican imports underscores the high stakes of the trade dispute. Investors are clearly concerned about the potential for a protracted trade war that could damage the global economy. Investors are clearly concerned about the potential for a protracted trade war that could damage the global economy. The fear is that prolonged uncertainty will lead to sustained market volatility. The uncertainty surrounding the trade dispute is likely to persist, weighing on financial markets and business confidence in the months to come. The long-term implications are still unfolding, weighing on financial markets and business confidence in the months to come. As the situation evolves, stakeholders will be closely monitoring developments, hoping for a resolution that stabilizes the markets.